your bite-sized daily roundup of the biggest news from the world of film. This is the Daily Reel with Van Connor.
Good morning, it's Tuesday, March 23rd, the day the first Police Academy movie was released back in 1984, Pretty Woman came out in 1990, and The Hunger Games arrived in cinemas in 2012. Birthdays today include comic actor Randall Park, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang's Michelle Monaghan, and directors Wamkole Sarah and Michael Haneke. But now, on to the news. Warner Media Studios CEO Ann Sarnoff has closed the door once and for all on the so-called Snyderverse. To recap, centering around the DC Comics adaptations by quote-unquote visionary director Zack Snyder, the Snyderverse began with 2013's Man of Steel and continued with 2016's Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. The franchise was supposed to continue for 3 more Justice League movies, but with a family tragedy striking the director's personal life, he was forced to step down from the first of these in 2017. The Avengers director Joss Whedon was then brought in to complete the feature, not in line with Snyder's original concept, but instead responding to the studio's desires, and thus it was released later that year to tepid reviews and furious condemnation by Snyder's fanbase. Fast forward to 2021 and Zack Snyder's Justice League has been restored and released to the cost of $70 million, and as an HBO Max exclusive. With that, many of the fans who demanded the film with the infamous hashtag #ReleaseTheSnyderCut campaign have now transitioned, demanding Warner Brothers instead hashtag #RestoreTheSnyderverse. In a recent interview with Variety about the release of the cut and the future of DC films, Ann Sarnoff was clear in her response to the movement, saying, "I appreciate that those fans love Zack's work and we are very thankful for his many contributions to DC. We're happy that he could bring his cut of Justice League to life, but with that comes the completion of his trilogy." Furthermore, when asked if those same fans campaigning for an Ayer cut of Suicide Squad would see any success anytime soon, Sarnoff was similarly blunt, stating, "We won't be developing David Ayer's cut." The interview came on the back of an announcement that the Oscar-nominated director of Promising Young Woman, Emerald Fennell, has signed on to helm a movie based on DC's popular sorceress Zatanna. No production schedule for the Zatanna film has been set, but Zack Snyder's Justice League is available to stream now.
He knows exactly what it's like to lose someone he loves. You know, like a father, like a mother, like an adopted son.
Actress Katie Holmes has acquired the rights to produce and star in a feature film adaptation of Jill Wine-Banks' autobiography. The novel, entitled The Watergate Girl: My Fight for Truth and Justice Against a Criminal President, details the life of the Nixon prosecutor who tried the case whilst dealing with a failing marriage, the rampant sexism of the time period, and literal crimes being committed against her. In a statement, Holmes said, "I was drawn to this story because it is as relevant today as it was then. Women are constantly trying to break through the glass ceiling, and this woman single-handedly helped reshape the Watergate trial." No writer or director has yet been set on the project, so production on The Watergate Girl is still a fair way off.
We all know where to find him. But as long as he keeps the bad people rich and the good people scared, no one will touch him. Good people like your parents who will stand against injustice, they're gone. What chance does Gotham have when the good people do nothing?
And finally, Netflix has picked up the rights to Keanu Reeves' Boom Studios comic book Berserker that he penned himself with New York Times bestselling writer Matt Kind. The book sees a badass warrior version of Reeves, specifically an 80,000-year-old half-mortal, half-god known only as B, as he finally finds a purpose in life, working for the US government to fight the fights too bloody and dangerous for anyone else. In exchange, B is promised the only thing that he wants, the truth about his living hell and how to finally end it. Issue 1 of the comic has currently sold 1,615,000 copies. For comparison, the average monthly sales for an issue of Spider-Man are just around 75,000 copies. Netflix will develop a live-action adaptation of the book starring Reeves as B, but will also develop an animated series which will see the John Wick star lend his voice to what is intended to expand the universe of Berserker. There's no concrete dates for the film as yet, but the book is expected to run for 12 monthly issues. With the first issue only published this month, it'll likely be close to a year before we see this one properly get off the ground.
It's not what you did, son, that angers me so. It's who you did it to.
Who? The nobody?
That nobody is John Wick.
Oleg comes to Mubi today, while Amazon Prime adds the ensemble comedy How to Be Single to its library. On Freeview, there's Rush Hour on ITV4, Sahara, Maze Runner The Death Cure, and Dodgeball, a true underdog story on Film 4. Screams on 5 Star, and Sony Movies are showing Marie Antoinette, Aftermath, and Joe, while the Sky Cinema and Now TV premiere for today is the fantasy romance tale Endless. That was the Daily Reel for Tuesday the 23rd of March. Keep it cinematic and we'll see you tomorrow.
The Daily Reel is a Candystore production, presented by Van Connor and written by Calvin Prickett. All information is correct at the time of writing, and source links are in the description for each episode. Don't forget to rate, review and subscribe on all good podcast platforms, or ask Alexa to install the Daily Reel skill for your morning flash briefing. Follow the show on social at Daily Reel Pod, and we'll be back every weekday. Until then, keep it cinematic.